Hey, what's up everybody, this is Charles and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, was Rajon Rondo out of line for taking a shot at Ty Lue and the Clippers? So that's the topic I'm going to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you check out Dreamerspro Max, an online sports community, a place you can talk about basketball, chat live during games. We have that linked in the comment section below. Anyway, let me get into this video here. So, well, it looks like, the early season drama has started, right? It looks like we're getting it started already, although we're in September right now. And the NBA season begins in October, but training camp is around the corner and teams look like as if they've made pretty much all of their moves. Now, last season, one of the pain areas for the Clippers, was at the point guard position. This was something that a lot of people complained about, and according to some of the reports I heard, it was something that was even complained about internally. We heard that Kawhi Leonard was in desperate need of a floor general that can run the point properly and help the team initiate their offense, because one of the issues that the Clippers were having was that they were having difficulties getting quality shots, especially in the half court, and also they were having some issues with speeding up the tempo in the fast break just to get them into their sets a little bit easier. They felt like as if they were pounding the ball quite a bit, and they were just running a lot of the shot clock down, and they wanted to get some easy buckets in transition to help guys get into rhythm a lot earlier in the game. And everyone agreed that they needed an upgrade at the point guard position. And what were they able to do? They were able to make a midseason acquisition and get Rajon Rondo, right? Now, before they were able to acquire Rondo, a lot of people in the media, including myself, felt as if Rondo would be the perfect candidate for the Clippers, right? Because of his experience. He was fresh off of an NBA championship. His stock was pretty high, given the fact that he had just helped the Lakers win an NBA championship, and given his reputation, right, for being a floor general and a leader. They thought that this was what the team desperately needed, that they needed a leader in the locker room. Now, to this day, I still don't know what they mean by this leader thing. To be quite honest with you, it just seems as if it's somebody that talks and, can get guys involved, but whatever, right? It seems to be that's the reason. And I think it's still quite funny to this day that even they said that the Clippers needed Rondo, and Rondo was the missing piece. He was the leader that they needed, and they lost with him. So there goes your leadership. There goes your leadership argument. The reason the Clippers lost is because they didn't have Kawhi Leonard. It had nothing to do with the leader or not. Now, when they did get Rondo, I was a bit confused early on because they weren't playing him as much. Now, some people speculated, including some fans, that no, don't worry. They're not playing him now. They're waiting to saving him for the playoffs. Some other people out there speculated that no, they're only going to bring Rondo in to initiate, when the team needs to be able to, get into a flow, when they get into a rut. And I'm like, why would you wait for the offense to get bogged down and to be stuck in mud before you bring Rondo in to start solving some of the issues? So there were a lot of question marks surrounding the whole Rondo acquisition. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't really know what the heck was going on when they got him there. And what happened? They got Rajon Rondo. The team went into the playoffs, and Tyronn Lue just decided that he wanted to go in a different direction, right? And it went from Rondo getting some minutes on the floor to us all together not seeing him play any minutes at all in the playoffs, right? And that's when some people started to make some speculations that, oh, is there some internal issues that Rondo's having with the Clippers internally? Did he have people started speculating a lot of things. But it turned out to be that Tyronn Lue was just giving his minutes to other players who now I understand, and I think a lot of us will agree, they were more deserving of those minutes, right? He gave Rajon Rondo's minutes to Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann definitely deserved those minutes. He gave him to Reggie Jackson. He definitely deserved those minutes. And he gave him to Patrick Beverley. Rondo ultimately he ended up leaving the Clippers. They let him go, or they traded him away. And then now he's back with the Lakers. And recently he was at a Lakers, introduction, interview, press interview, where they interview a player and all of this stuff. But in this case, Rondo is making another homecoming because he played with the Lakers just 2 seasons ago. And Rondo was asked the question of, about how he worked with the Clippers or whatever it was. And I want to read you guys some of his comments, some of the things that he had to say, because we were asking about his game has his game declined. And Rondo said, I don't think my game's declined. He says, you're only as good as your coach believes in you. Going forward this year, I understand where I am in my career, but I believe I can still bring a lot to a team. Those are the comments that he made, right? And in my opinion, this was a direct shot at Tyronn Lue when you said, when you have a coach, that believes in you, right? And we all know that Rajon Rondo has a history, right, of falling out with coaches. This is well documented. You don't have to go too far. Think of Rick Carlisle with the Dallas Mavericks. Think of Doc Rivers with the Boston Celtics. He said he was a headache to coach. And now with Tyronn Lue. Now the interesting thing here is this though. Tyronn Lue was with Rajon Rondo when he started off his career, and he was the one working with him closely. So it's just interesting. It's just interesting that 10 plus years later, he now is coached by Tyronn Lue, and he has his comments to say about him, saying that essentially, listen, this guy didn't believe in me, and I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think Tyronn Lue wanted to win. Plain and simple. I think he wanted to win. He took his ego out of it ultimately, and he said, what are the best lineups that I can run out here to help us get some wins? And I think that was what was informing his thinking, right? I think that was it. I don't think Tyronn Lue had any personal agenda against Rajon Rondo, like he wanted to, just bench him and just have him out there. I don't think he was even thinking about Rondo. I think he was probably aware that this could possibly happen if he decided not to play him any minutes. But I don't think Tyronn Lue's responsibility is to Rajon Rondo. His responsibility is to the team and the owner. Rondo is not the one cutting your check. If you get fired, Rondo's not the one who's going to be paying your bills after you get fired. You're going to have to be the one to handle those things. So the coach can't be sitting there worrying about a player's feelings. Now, obviously, it's a much more intricate matter, because you're dealing with players, you're dealing with personalities, and these are human beings at the end of the day. But listen, I don't think Tyronn Lue had any sinister agenda against Rajon Rondo. I think Rajon Rondo showed his colors. That listen, if you and I have a falling out, I'm going to take a shot at you if I have the opportunity to. And it looks like he had the opportunity and he did it right there. Now, some people may say that's warranted or not. It all depends on the person. Some people also speculated that it had something to do with an argument that he had with Kawhi Leonard on the court. I think that's just a bunch of nonsense, to be quite honest with you. You're telling me that Kawhi Leonard, who was coached by Greg Popovich, who chewed Kawhi Leonard out for years. There are videos out there, Greg Popovich is going off on Kawhi Leonard on the court. You're telling me that Kawhi Leonard is uncomfortable with handling confrontation or handling, confrontational situations because of that back and forth that he had with Rondo on the court. That's the reason Kawhi Leonard walked upstairs and said, listen, I can't deal with it. Like, come on. I'm not buying into any of that. Really, I'm not. Basically, you're saying that Kawhi Leonard can't deal with any abrasive personalities, which is just not the case, right? He was coached by Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich would chew out anybody, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. So I'm not buying any of that. Rondo made him feel, I'm not buying any of that. I think that's just a talking point and a running line, a talking point and just something that people want to run with, so they can run with it. But for me, I just think that ultimately Rondo was just a bad fit and other players deserved his minutes. Plain and simple. But those are just my opinions. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think? Do you think Rondo was justified to say what he did? And what do you think happened with the entire situation? Why do you think they had a falling out? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, it's just Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.